Cool.
That's where I got him. The next quarterback on this list, which is actually kind of surprising, that I'll put in there is Kellen Mond.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I guessed
you
it
got it.
right.
Yep, got it pulled up. So I really like Kellen Mond a lot. I don't understand kind of the lack of talk around him. It was funny because I've heard the name and I've always thought, it's just a guy who's going to go in the second round, third round, not really going to be a good player in the league, more of just a college guy. Well, if you watch film on Kellen Mond, he will surprise you because he surprised the hell out of me when I was watching. So I watched him in a couple different games, one of them being against Clemson, which obviously Clemson. Yeah, so going against Clemson, good talent on the defense, consistently going against, top draft picks. And I just watched him actually make some throws that are really honestly incredible. And I think there is a video that I think I would like for you to pull up. Let me just check really quick to make sure. But I will say that what I loved about Kellen Mond is that he just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Like he's very accurate with this ball and everything like that, but he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Yeah. So if you could look up Kellen Mond versus Clemson all throws on YouTube, because there's a couple throws that I want to show people, because again, I don't think people really know enough about him, and I would love to show a couple clips of him just being this good, because he really is. Yeah, that's the play. So bring that full screen, and I want you to flash forward to 4 minutes and 30 seconds, because there's a throw at 4 minutes and 30 seconds that is just beautiful. You want to see what touch is in a ball? This is touch. In the face of a defender, too, that's about to sack him. He makes this throw.
Oh, hold on. I got to make this like this. Doesn't fit in the screen.
Gotcha. No worries. All right. So watch this throw. So rolls to his right, about to get sacked, steps up. Look at that. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. In the face of a defender
gorgeous.
about to hit him. I mean, he gets hit like after this. Like as he's releasing this ball, he's about to get whacked by a free running linebacker, and he makes this throw over that defender's arm, but underneath the safety over top, right into his wide receiver's hands.
That's nuts.
I mean, that's what touch is. That right there is the definition of touch.
Oh, wow.
Like and look at, he keeps his feet moving, square throw, everything. And then, I mean, obviously not this throw, but I'm like, he makes some throws in this game that are just absurd. And then you can flash forward to 7 minutes and 10 seconds. And that's when like some of the more fun begins on these throws. Cause so he throws this first pass, and now this isn't complete. This pass right here, but I mean, the ball placement on this pass, there's nobody getting to that ball except for the receiver. And it's a very catchable ball. He just has a shorter wide receiver there. And that's a very catchable ball. And then watch this play. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, it's just stupid. It's just, I don't know why this guy's not getting talked about. I don't understand it. Like, I watch his film and I just kept watching him make throws like this and against good teams. And I just go, I don't know what the problem is here. Recognizes the blitz coming over, runs out to his left to extend the play, somehow makes the throw across his body with enough touch on it to just land perfectly into the receiver's hands underneath. He doesn't throw it too high or too, hard in order for the defender above to make a play. He just does. Oh my God. Things.
That even looked like a wild throw, but it was on target. Like when it came out, it looked like it was going to be bad.
Yeah, and I mean, he threw it high, so it's
on a rope.
It was on a rope, and he also threw it a little high too. So really, the wide receiver is going to be able to get to that ball. He just consistently in this film, like, look at that, shakes off the defender. He has his eyes down. If you go back a couple seconds too, that's the other thing too that I don't think people realize is he has his eyes down the field the entire time. He's not looking at the guy who's literally about to sack him. Like, watch right here, he gets grabbed. Where is his helmet? His eyes are still looking at that wide receiver, and he makes the throw. Like that play would not happen for a lesser quarterback. That right there is the type of play. And the reason why I put him above Mac Jones is because he's making that play. Like, I don't think Mac Jones is making that play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just, like Mac Jones didn't get pressured enough in college to be able to see it. That was a weird
Oh,
tackle I want to point out. But yeah, he just continues to make these throws that are just, look at this. Like that right there looks like yeah, that was slightly overthrown, but it's slightly overthrown. I mean, it's not like, we're talking when we get to the NFL and there's receivers that have the speed and ability to catch that ball, they're going to catch that ball.
yeah.
Like he just consistently is throwing. He steps up in the pocket, makes throws. He's not pressured at all by any, or he's not like affected by any pressure that comes up the middle. He just steps up the pocket, he throws a ball. It's funny because one of the only criticisms that I've seen of him was Chris Sims talking about him and basically said that he thinks that Kellen Mond might be a little too robotic because he's just like, which is like, that's, and he even laughed when he said it because it's like that being a criticism is like kind of ridiculous because like it's just, he's so good. He just doesn't make bad throws really. Like he's consistent. He does not, feign in pressure whatsoever. I mean, 1st and 15, down by 8, 7.5 minutes left on the clock, and he's still driving the ball down the field, trying to make something happen with a team that is less talented than Clemson.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, look right there. Like he looks down, sees his progression, nobody's open, dumps it off to the running back, doesn't take a sack. And yeah, that play went for negative yardage, but I mean, that's not gonna happen all the time. See, that was like one of the first plays that looked like it was overthrown. And really, I think if you look at I think the wide receiver like slid on the ground. I don't think he actually had his footing underneath him. Yeah, he's just, look at, I mean, he's stepping up he's like, that was a drop that should have been caught, and that will be caught in the NFL. But he just steps up into the pocket.
God, he does look
senses
like a
pressure.
robot now that you point that out.
Huh?
He looks like an NPC resetting.
Yeah.
Right here.
Look at he's just that's what I mean. He's unbelievably talented and he has a good arm, he has good touch, he has good zip on the ball when he needs to. He reads defenses pretty well. He senses pressure well and handles with it well. He doesn't freak out. He doesn't, he's pretty calm in the pocket. Even when he's scrambling around, running away from the pressure, he's still looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield for the receiver. And when he runs, I mean, he can run. So it's one of those where I don't understand why enough teams or enough talk hasn't been around Kellen Mond. I just, and you know what's funny is, who he just met with?
Who?
The Bears.
Really?
Oh yeah, he just had a meeting with the Bears. He talked about it in a press conference. He mentioned that he met with the Bears.
Okay.
I would love Kellen Mond.
Where is he projected to be able to like fall down to?
Probably late first, early second.
Late first, early second. Okay.
So if you're the Bears and you really love him, take him at 20, which I would actually be happy with. I think I'd be okay with that.
Oh my God, they would get clowned so hard. I would love for it to go not be the case, but I feel like draft night they'll get clowned so hard.
They might, but I'm telling you, we're gonna get a quarterback, especially because he's not going to be expected to produce right away. Yeah, that was unbelievable pass interference. That's why he threw that ball. Yeah, that's the other thing is he's not going to be expected to play right away. So that's why I would love him on the Bears because he would sit behind Andy Dalton. And yeah, Andy Dalton having him as quarterback is going to not be great. See, look, it shrugs it off and makes this throw. I mean, was that a touchdown? I mean, that's ridiculous. If that's a touchdown, that's ridiculous. This throw's absurd if that's a touchdown. Look at this. I mean, look at this.
Doesn't even look.
Shakes it off. And then look at this throw. I can't believe that.
That's actually wild that like you're able to betray your instincts right here and not immediately look to the side of you or move your head at all.
No, he didn't even flinch when that guy grabbed him. Just shook him off and then threw a touchdown pass over the center of the field with 3 guys around in the area. Like, it's just
wow,
uncanny how the ability he has.
Throws a nice ball too.
I mean, that was great. That was a great pass. Like, he had to make something happen. It was the end of the game. They probably don't get the 2-point conversion here, and that's why they ended up losing, I think. Yeah, nothing happened, basically. Good coverage, holding. Yeah, so nothing happened there. So that's why he just tried to make something happen at the end. So that's why they ended up losing that game. But yeah, he's one of like the most least talked about prospects I've ever seen that actually has the talent that he should be talked about.
Yeah.
This you don't really care about. You could just go back to his profile. We're about to probably move on from him anyways, but I just wanted to highlight that video because it's absurd. And that's against Clemson, who has first round talent on defense. And he's not playing against a bunch of scrubs. And it's not like he had the best wide receivers ever either. It's not like you're hearing about a wide receiver coming out of the draft from Kellen Mond or Kellen Mond's team that is going to go, top 10 or something. So he's throwing to pretty, talented players, but again, not like one of those guys that's a signature player. And so, yeah, I don't know why people aren't talking about him enough. He keeps his eyes down the field, throws wherever the receiver, he throws where a receiver can catch it. He throws on the run super well. He's 6'2", I think he came in at 6'2", 205 is what his measurables were at his pro day. So he does have at least the quarterback, stature, enough size. I'm glad that he's not a runner with that size. You have to put on more weight in order to be a runner. But I mean, he just makes good throws. Like even that was kind of a weird off balance throw where he didn't really step into it. He just kind of threw it and still got it to there pretty on target.
Yeah.
So yeah, super talented. I just can't. I would love to see where he goes, and I think if he goes to the right situation, he'll definitely excel in the league, and that's why I have him above Mac Jones, is because I think he's just a higher ceiling of a player, and I don't think that he has too many flaws right now. At least watching him in college,
I like how quick his release is.
Yep, that's what I mean. It's just there's just so much to like about him. It's funny because I've watched other games with him in it, and it's the same thing. I mean, even games where he has bad game, it's not even really that bad. Like it's like, yeah, there's a couple errant decisions here and there, but like that's gonna happen. You're in college. And we always talk about rookie mistakes in the NFL and stuff like that from quarterbacks. So yeah, of course he's gonna make a couple of those bad decisions in college, but he doesn't generally do that. I mean, look at that throw. Like that's coming across his body, moving to the left side of the field out of the pocket, and steps up and makes that throw. And I believe it was 3rd and 8 too. So it's a guy get the first down. You're against one of the best teams in the country, and threw it to a spot where his receiver could catch it. And yeah, his receiver is probably a little smaller too, but
is he widely supposed to be a first round pick?
Well, he's considered more of a day 2 guy. It's just one of those where I mean, you're watching the same film I'm watching. It's one of those where I think if some people get enough on him that he could potentially end up rising up in the rankings.
Right.
So, and even like the Buccaneers, for instance, the Buccaneers don't really have any needs whatsoever on their team, and so they could take a quarterback to be Tom Brady's successor in 3 years.
That would be wild if they did.
Yeah, and they're getting a really good player to do so.
But not even a bad decision. It'd just be interesting for them to you'd think you just want to load up on top of your already stacked team and then just try and put yourself over the edge. But if you took the opportunity, like the Packers are failing to do, of picking a quarterback a little bit early and then hopefully just continuing that, that streak. But then again, you're also once again betting against Tom Brady retiring and getting old. So it's an interesting risky bet. It seemed like it would have worked out 4 years ago. Maybe it won't make sense in another 4 years. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, if it doesn't make sense and it doesn't work out in 4 years, then I don't think they're going to be complaining.
Yeah, that's true too.
So